agenda before us. Ask if there's any additions, corrections, changes, deletions.
Possibly we should have an update from Barb on the Carpenter sanitation thing.
Right.
Either put that under items in order, item 11. Either way.
Okay.
Okay, then I also noticed this factual clarification from Betty McCarthy. Bob, did you ask for a factual clarification?
No, I certainly did
Stan?
not.
No, I didn't.
I did not either, and we have not received anything in our packet, so I would suggest maybe we just delete that from until we do get further information.
Okay. Delete number 9.
Well, I'll make a motion to that effect,
Okay.
amending the agenda, deleting number 9,
And adding a
and adding
Adding 11.
Bard.
Barb's
Second.
update on sanitation. We have motion to accept and a second to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Item 2, County Attorney General discussion.
There's this cooperative agreement between Worth County and the other political subdivisions, which has to do with child support recovery. That looks fine. So if you guys want to sign that some point in time, I don't have an original. I don't know who does. So.
No, I just have a copy. Whoops.
So if you guys want to put that on sometime and sign it, I don't know if it's on any time, but
It is on today.
Oh, it is on today.
Yeah, it is on item 8,
Okay.
cooperative reimbursement agreement. So.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign it. Has there been a new watershed agreement that you've seen?
Yeah. And I haven't reviewed it yet.
Okay.
It came about Friday or whatever via email.
Okay. I don't know if I've seen that or not yet.
And I'll make sure we get copies to you and
Okay.
told Mark told Lowell to put it on next week.
Okay, so that's on for next week, all right.
And I see that the legislature, if the bill gets signed, there's gonna be a couple $1 million more for flood control coming in, so I would assume we would get part of that.
Okay. I mean, like I said, the last one looked fine. There were just some, form changes that needed to be made. Other than that, I don't have anything.
An email that you received yesterday on the bid for out there at Allen.
Oh, yeah,
Do we need to go out for bid on that?
no.
Okay. So a clarification update. The county's portion of the pre-treatment did not, Ballant is not going to do the filling in, the site prep. The county will have to stamp that, and so that's part of there as well. It'd be cheaper to have POPs do it at the same time that they got the bid to do the Ballant site, rather than to hire a separate, or do it at a different date. And there, what may cost somewhere in the vicinity of $35,000 to $45,000 because there's no excess fill to fill our site, so the filling had to be brought in. And so that was a question that came up and was forwarded on to Martin. So.
And it's one of those things is just gonna get added onto their cost. It's not a county cost, but the county's gonna be paying for it up front.
So I hope we find all these costs before we go out and sell bonds, because we might just have to do it again, I guess, however, but anyway, that was the thing that popped up yesterday.
Somebody in theory could make the argument, oh, you're trying to, piece together like you piece together a building, bid it out and separate items, so you don't go over the dollar amount. But this is, there was no effort ever made to do that, it's just, it was a, you know, now we have to do this, so it's not really part of the project.
It's part of our project.
Part of our project,
Right.
but you can, it's so totally different that you
Right.
can't say, oh, we're just trying to pull this out so we don't have to bid it, you know.
Well, and two, they were out there moving dirt every which way, I mean, so why wouldn't our section, we didn't even know what part was gonna become ours, you know, so I mean, you know, so I mean, it's part of our deal, but it's not that big a item in a $9 million project, so.
Yeah, it's what, about 200 by 400, they raise it up a couple feet.
Right, about 2 foot.
Well, item 3 is a letter of intent for support of a natural gas line concept. Since that time, they actually want a memorandum of understanding instead of a letter of intent. I mean, that basically is the same thing, pretty close, I guess. But it's still being drafted. I'd like to have you take a look at that. I'll ask the board here that we approve of it, subject to your okay on it. Just because we gotta try to keep this thing moving in a timely manner. But right now, we don't have it yet, but we should here in the next hour or two, so
Okay.
if that would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying whether it's a good idea or it's a bad idea, I'm just telling you what the legal consequences are of signing it, so.
What are the legal consequences?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
All right.
Assuming the county's putting in a bunch of money.
Putting in a little for basically studies and that to see if we should, at the very end, go ahead, proceed, if this is a project that we shouldn't pursue,
I just need to see the letter, and or the
memorandum.
memorandum.
The county's part's already been put in a few
Basic,
months ago. I mean, that was,
basically, we had committed, I think, $30,000 to get some studies done from US Energy, and last week they finally sent a notice saying that they had spent $3,200 plus little miscellaneous and that and some phone calls, so I would assume it's around $3,600. So we basically have $26,500 somewhere in that neighborhood yet that we haven't. And we've run into a little problem with this Hinshaw agreement. And basically, one of the requirements to becoming a Hinshaw pipeline is that the state of Iowa sets the regulations then for transportation costs, or they set the, and because it's under 2,500 customers, the Iowa Utilities Board doesn't set the regulations, so I don't know if we can get an exemption. I mean, it's one of those things that it's really a good deal they don't set regulations for a small one, but then the federal government's saying the state should. So I don't know where we're gonna be at that Hinshaw thing. What a mess.
I just need to see it, and if you know
Okay,
what it is.
I'll get it over to you.
Okay.
Okay, backing up, do we need a motion on to sign this
I think you should.
Yeah.
co-op reimbursement agreement?
Yes.
Yep, so move.
Second.
So a motion and a second to sign the cooperative reimbursement agreement. Roll call vote, Walk.
Aye.
Wolflander.
Aye.
Morel, aye. Motion carried. Okay. Item 3, letter of intent for support of the natural gas line concept. I guess we
I'd like to make a motion that we approve a memorandum of understanding with, on the support of the natural gas line concept, subject to the county attorneys looking over the letter.
Do we have something written up on that already? Or?
No, it's,
Okay.
it should be coming here in the
Okay.
next, but,
That's your motion?
That's my
Second.
Motion and a second. For a letter of intent for support of the natural gas line concept, roll call vote. Locke?
Aye.
Voigtlander?
Aye.
Ralph? Carried. Item 4, resolution setting date for public hearing on general obligation loan.
That in your packet there, it's
Yep.
on the second page.
May I read the resolution?
Want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Resolution number 82412, resolution to fix a date for a public hearing on a loan agreement in a principal amount not to exceed $12,750,000. Whereas the Board of Supervisors of Mitchell County, Iowa, the county proposes to enter into a loan agreement, and borrow money in a principal amount not to exceed $12,750,000 pursuant to the provisions of section 331.402, subsection 331.441, parentheses 2, parentheses B, and section 331.443 of the Code of Iowa for the purpose of paying the cost to that extent of 1, constructing improvements and facilities for the treatment of waste at the sanitary sewer treatment plant for the Osage Municipal Utilities and a waste treatment facility in connection with the Valent Biosciences Corporation Development Project, and 2, constructing improvements to a county emergency shelter conservation building, and it is now necessary to fix a date of meeting of this board at which it is proposed to take action to enter into the loan agreement and to give notice thereof as required by such law. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Mitchell County, Iowa as follows. Section 1. The board shall meet on the 22nd day of May 2012 at the courthouse, Osage, Iowa at 8:30 a.m., at which time and place a hearing will be held and proceedings will be instituted and action taken to enter into the loan agreement. Section 2. The county auditor is hereby directed to give notice of the proposed action on the loan agreement, setting forth the amount and purpose thereof, the time, when, and place where the said meeting will be held by publication of at least once and not less than 4 nor more than 20 days before the date of said meeting, in a legal newspaper which has a general circulation in the county. The notice shall be in substantially the following form. Here's a copy of the notice. So. Just need to set a time for the public hearing.
9:30 or 8:45?
What, the 22nd?
No, 9:30 will
I
work.
think 9:30 better.
When you read that, Lowell, did you say at 8:30?
Well, that's when the meeting starts.
The board meets.
Is that really what it's saying, Lowell, or
Well, I
Mark?
just added that in there. It's
I think you want 9:30 the time of the public hearing.
Right.
Okay.
Because that's what it's really addressing here is,
Much done. Yeah, you may be right. Place a hearing will be held.
So fix the written date of the public hearing.
What's the question? What time goes in there?
yeah, is it 8:30?
No, it's the time of the hearing.
That's what I thought,
9:30.
yeah, 9:30.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yes.
Move that we set the time at 9:30 and the date at May 22nd, 2012 for the public hearing on the loan agreement.
You're basically moving to pass resolution 2412.
Right.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 824-12. Roll call vote. Voigtlander.
Aye.
Locke.
Aye.
Motion. Aye. Motion carried. Yeah, county engineer's not here yet, I don't think so. We're down to approval of the minutes.
Got 2 sets.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I read them, second.
All sets?
Yeah, both sets.
Okay. You made the motion?
I did, yes.
We have a motion and a second to approve the both sets of minutes, May 1st and July 26th. Roll call vote, both lines?
No. Just the workshop.
Oh, pardon me, that was just a workshop. Proceedings of the workshop, May 1st. Roll call vote, Volklander?
Aye.
Bach?
Aye.
Morel? Aye. Motion carried. Approval of the claims.
Is there anything that you need me for?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, you're gonna get those things over to me then?
Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah, thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
You bet.
They do say final on those drafts.
What's that?
It does say final this time.
It does say final on it.
All right. Hopefully it's the final of the final.
Final.
Got Terry looking at them after the 5th one.
Well, that's the problem when you have so many people involved, is
Well, that's
each one
just
wants to
it.
make a,
You have to look at it. Approval of the claims, item number 7.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Roll call vote, Bach?
Aye.
Volklander?
Aye.
Morel? Aye. Motion carried. Do you want to ask Barb to come over for that, or?
Yeah. Go ahead and get it.
We'll down to that. So we got time before the county engineer gets here. Morning, Barb.
Morning.
Question came up, Barb, as to, on this Carpenter sewer, do we have a special fund set up for that?
Mhm.
Okay, I just happened to notice when we did the claims, we paid for some of that stuff out of the 99s, and is that still in there?
Yes, it is.
That's on a special fund?
Right, did we pay it out of the sewer fund now, or?
I think so, yeah.
Well, maybe I didn't see the number, it's not under a separate fund. then,
It's in the
like Fund 10.
99s, but it has its own fund,
It's
Alright.
67,004.
004, yeah. That's the fund.
Okay.
And we don't have a fuel line, but we put it in supplies. Use the fuel for the,
For the
I see
tractor.
we did in October, I didn't see this one in April. Who's the vendor on that?
I don't know if he even gives a vendor on that one.
Is it in here though somewhere, or?
I don't know if the diesel fuel is in there.
But I saw in October, we paid to a JT Enterprises fuel.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah, that's right. JT. No, I think that's not in here. I just circled one. So that didn't get into claim session.
Okay. So I can talk to Janelle and make sure it gets paid out of sewer fund, but you'll still see it in the 99s,
Okay,
but
then-
not as part of a budget, it's a non-budgetary fund. So, it's a little tricky too, but,
Well, can't we just set up a fund that says Carpenter Sewer, you know, in and out?
it is, I mean, I can print you a sheet now that shows what we're paying out of it.
And what
All by
we're, what
itself.
we're receiving also, and
Mhm.
what we've got in, okay. Now going forward, are we gonna do the same thing with this balance? How are we gonna handle that? I mean,
Valent right now
that's
is.
just gonna be an assessment and,
Well, it depends. If we're using TIF money, then it'll show the debt being in the TIF revenue fund,
right,
and that's a separate fund. So that will show us another, I'll probably make another line showing the VBS project or something,
okay.
because we're already paying road loans on the TIF too, so. So I was thinking about that, keep them separate.
Cause we will have expenses owning that facility.
The expenses will come out of capital projects. Because when we borrow the money, we'll put that money in capital projects, and then whatever,
Yeah, but I mean, ongoing after the project's completed, you know, the county will still be responsible for their insurance, still, you know, and all that. Whatever else goes with it.
yeah, then we'll have to figure something out. Cause I don't have nothing set up for that yet.
I just kinda was wondering how we were gonna do that, so.
Yeah, this is, see, it says 67.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Guess that's all I wanted to know.
Do you have anything, Stan?
No, that was
That was our question this
just to be
morning.
But yeah,
clarified
you-
on the,
If you feel you want me to add another line for the carpenter.
I would, I mean,
can.
it's easier to track stuff that way than to try to pick it out.
I mean, I can make a fuel line, and then that just show the fuel, but you still gotta look for it under that fund.
So how are we paying for the mowing?
The mowing is under Mark's wages,
Okay,
because Mark's doing that.
right.
Is Mark here this morning?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's coming in for
It
an
was on
update.
for item 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be the next question if you,
Well, see, wouldn't that be part of the expense of that? See, that's why you can lump all that together in that same fund, you know, the mowing, the
Mhm.
fuel, the upkeep for the tractor, the,
yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah, Brandon made me do all that.
oh, you already did.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Cause I gotta report to him too, you know, and show that.
Well, I guess if you can print it out, I'd like to see it all.
Mhm. And you put it on your desk for you.
Appreciate it.
You want revenue and expense?
I would like to see that.
Okay.
has Carpenter ever said if, everybody's paying their bills, or?
Everybody's pretty good. They'll like pay the whole year off, and then the next new year, they kinda wait again. But we only have one person that hasn't paid since the project started or the sewer began,
And that's going on the taxes?
you know,
Mhm.
so
How many units are up there? 50,
60,
61?
I think,
Right
around
around
60.
60.
Around 60?
But some have gotten sold too, so that's helped. Figuring that, so. But yeah, I gotta report to USDA, all that, and Brandon was in about a month ago, and talked about stuff.
We met with the mayor and the city clerk last week.
Mhm.
And that went well?
Yeah,
Good.
Well, I
their
think
questions were answered, so.
Yeah, they just had some questions. Since they were both new, you know, they kinda come in when it started.
I think for the most part it's been working well.
I think it's just the, figuring out who was doing what.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. Rich, you're up.
I think if you guys are okay with
back up a minute, you said last week it was analog digital?
Yeah, that option.
That combination?
Yeah, that combination.
Not strictly digital?
Not strictly, no, we won't have
Okay.
all the radios yet, but that combination of, yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
Yep, no, that's fine.
we're on the same page.
Yep, nope, that's fine, yep, that's exactly where we're at, you know, and then you, mentioned a couple weeks ago about over by Stillwater, some farming in the ditch or whatever, what happened?
Right, yeah, that,
Did you take a look at it all, cause
I did, we drove by there when we came back from New Hampton,
actually, that's a creek along in that ditch, and,
it looks like is it a designated waterway then?
yeah, it's a stream, I think is what you call it, so.
Okay.
It's not a drainage ditch or anything like
He's
that.
not actually in the ditch, but he's awfully close and there's some erosion going.
He had
from the field
contacted
into
us
the
last
ditch.
year, he wanted to straighten that out, and we haven't really ever done anything. I think what Jim Weary told me was we had done it one time,
Cleaned the
years
ditch,
ago, kinda re-cleaned it, but being a waterway, you know, he said he was gonna have it cleaned out, or he was gonna put a buffer strip in, so we haven't really had any contact since then. We figured if he wanted us to help participate in it, cause he wanted to do it. Well, we don't have a real big problem, I know it gets kinda close to our fore slopes a little bit, but it's always been that way, and I think
He's about that close.
Yeah,
There's
so-
some actually breaking
we
away.
haven't really had any more conversation about it. It was toward the end of fall, and he was gonna be taken off for the year, so we haven't had any conversation since then, that it hadn't been cleaned or straightened out.
You
And
know who the owner is?
yeah,
Okay.
he had, I can't remember who it is, but I know I can get it. But as far as that goes, I guess, I don't know how close he's been farming before, but as that thing meanders, it just keeps digging out more of his field, actually, it looks like, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably 6 of one, half dozen the other. but,
Right. So,
What do we do in a case like that?
it's a natural stream, so, I mean, if it starts getting too close to the road, we'd have to try to protect the road, but,
Is that an issue for DNR or?
well, I think it, being a stream, it might be, cause it's not a drainage ditch, I think it's more of a stream.
It is an actual street?
It's, I believe it is, that's what I was told, now,
It
I,
almost looks like there's water running in that north ditch too.
yeah, that's just, I don't think that's the creek part of it, but
Okay.
I think
But,
it's just.
you know, a year or two ago on that corner there, they did some clean out, did
Yep.
some straightening out, so I wonder if that doesn't now send that water a little faster down our ditch or,
It might,
you know.
I looked at it, and it's not causing us a real big problem, but over time, it might need something done again, but I didn't see that it was a big emergency right now to do anything with it. As far as he goes, I guess, I don't know exactly where that property line is, but I don't know if there's, I don't recall seeing power poles on that side, and I don't believe there are.
Yeah, I don't think there are on
I don't
the
think they
east
put 'em on that
or south
side.
side. There are.
Don't use the driveway either.
Yeah, I wonder if that should just get yanked out someday.
Looks like there's 2 different owners on that mile. Most of it's one owner. About 40 acres of another owner there.
Okay.
It's in East Lincoln.
Anyway, I did look at it, and after looking at it, I had looked at it prior to that. I just didn't think we wanted to spend that kind of money on it. I mean, it was a substantial amount of money to have it subcontracted out to do that.
To clean it out here.
That he wanted us to partake in
Oh,
half of that.
do you think that's, DNR should be contacted?
I'll
on
look
something
into
like that?
whether DNR needs to look at something like that or not, cause
Because it is,
it falls into that stream straightening right-of-way thing, which the county can do or can't do. There's a line in there where the county can change channel alignment, but I don't know if they still need to contact the DNR to do that and get permits to do it. So I'll look into that a little bit closer.
good.
We did put our level C signs up yesterday for the Valent project, so, they'll be locking that gate here shortly when he gets his signs all up. He'll give us a combination for it, and I'll give it to the sheriff, so he can give it to whoever he needs to give it to for the level C there. I don't know if you guys care to have it, I think they wanna limit how many people have it, just, you give it to one and somebody says, well, here's what it, you know, if they see a problem, they'll start changing the combination again, but
Sure.
I didn't know if you guys wanna have it or need to have it or whatever, but I'll give it to Kurt and he can give it to whoever he needs to, and then I figured that the city can give it to the fire department, police, ambulance. I'll take care of the county side, he'll take care of the city side as to who he feels needs to have that combination.
It's gonna be open during the day, right? Well, I mean, if this board would ever wanna go out and visit our site and see how things are progressing, I suppose we would do it during the day, not at night, so.
During daylight hours. and,
Okay. We have been shouldering the golf course road, we started yesterday, and, no good deed goes unpunished, but we're progressing rather well. We've had one complaint, and I looked at it, and by rights, it didn't need to have anything on it, so we're fixing a little boo-boo, not a big deal. But we're shouldering that road, the excavator's back out, doing some ditch clean, and hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that driveway widened up there for the bus. That's the schedule.
I see they had it all flagged and marked yesterday,
We gotta locate down
when I
there.
turned around there.
So, that's coming down the pipeline, and then, we did make some, red flags for our speed limit signs. They had a slow day, and I told them to cut up some old aluminum signs that were about the right size to red flag, kinda give awareness to the speed limit as they come into town, so we'll put them up in Totterville, and
They're already up in Totterville.
Are they already got them up? Okay. I don't know if they got any in McIntyre yet, but I told them we wanted some in McIntyre too, for that 25-mile-an-hour speed limit through there, to give more awareness that way. We scheduled with Heartland to put that light up south of St. Ansgar too, so, I got a rock map on the desk I'm gonna review to find out how many miles we really wanna do this year on rock, so I'll be looking at that. We'll try to schedule, maybe toward the end of June here, we'll start a rock run or something. The bills come in July.
Did you
We
get out
don't
there?
have any money in July.
Better. It's a new year.
Pay your taxes early.
When did you say about starting the rock run?
It might be mid to late June. And I don't know, I think, depending on how many miles we do, we might try to do it ourselves this year. I know we go back and forth. It might be easier if we've got, I think we're more spotty than we are a lot of miles, but we kinda wanna drive it and look and see where we're at. I was hoping we'd get by with just, a few miles here and there since we didn't plow a lot this winter, but we're also still trying to catch up from last year where we had a lot of frost boil issues too, so we might have, each operator gave me 40 miles, so that'll be 240 miles to look at. Other than that, we're out maintaining gravels and, trying to get things square. We got that tile fixed north of Stacyville there on Friday, so that's sealed back up. There was the one on March Avenue where Mullenback Farms there, that finally got fixed, so.
Did anybody check that one out up on Underwood?
I hadn't gotten a report back yet, I mentioned it, I don't know if Jim got a chance to look at it, but I'll remind him again.
And did you follow up on that Larry Clark? Gravel line Quail?
Yeah, I told him I wanted to look at the map first, I didn't look at, I just got the map this morning, so.
Okay.
Anything for me?
I think that's all I had. I see they got the patches in down on March Avenue, South Orchard there.
Little bitty ones.
Yep. good.
I marked that concrete patch over by Carpenter's, and when we get, maybe later this summer, if things are a little slow, so we'll cut that pavement out and get rid of that bump there when you come in, get rid of that speed bump when you come into town. People can drive faster through Carpenter now. So,
Is that the one north of the old drive-in?
right by the softball diamond, right when you come into town. So there's a heave there, and it won't go down.
It won't.
And then we'll get, I think maybe, later this summer, we'll do some bubble patching out there and see if we can get some of those rough spots knocked down over some of those culverts.
Well, over the years, we've had complaints up at Carpenter too on speeding, so if they actually are making some of those flags, that might not be a bad one either for hitting
Okay.
in Carpenter.
We just grabbed old scrap aluminum signs we had laying in there for recycling. I said, just cut them up and paint them, because it's cheaper than having to order them. And they don't have to be reflective, they just need to be red.
Right.
The speed limit sign needs to be reflective. Yeah, we can certainly start raising more awareness that way too. Okay,
Well, thank you, Mr. Broom.
anything quick today?
Thanks, Rich. You got my message on McIntyre's request
Yep.
there?
I'm also gonna talk to Milt here after I'm done. The snowmobile club is trying to get a bridge over the Wapsie, and I don't remember where the location is for the trail. I've been talking with Winnebago County, they've got a big bridge they wanna get rid of, but I don't know if the big bridge is compatible with what the snowmobile club needs. But I'm gonna talk to Milt, cause I know he's been part of that whole procedure too. It seems like
Say that again? They want a bridge over the Wapsie,
yeah.
Snowmobile Club?
And it's up to them to build, it's up to them to build it, so they gotta go through all the same procedures, but
Whereabouts, so do they think they?
I don't know exactly where it's at now, but they've done it in the past where
We paid for the bicycle bridge across the Wapsie.
that was over $1 million. I think that was $1 million, that bicycle one.
I think it's-
Or was it less than that? I don't.
Yeah, 250.
Oh, yeah, not $1 million. That was probably.
They put two of them, they have two of them out.
Mhm.
On the bike trail, there's two of them. In Mitchell, I know that, our couple's got a real sense of us too.
Keep thinking of that Charles City pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, that's true.
No, we didn't, but they've got an old arch bridge. I can't remember what it's called. They need to get rid of it. It can't take car traffic. It's 120 feet long, and they don't need a 120-foot bridge, so I'm just trying to figure out whether or not they can do anything with it. I told them to buy a couple flatbed semi-trailers, and
Wait till the creek freezes over, then you can get right across.
I don't have a problem with that. That usually doesn't freeze though.
Yeah, I know. So if they put that bridge across, then you have to have those inspected also.
They're not ours, so no.
They're not.
I mean, that's
It's
nothing to
anybody
do with,
wants down a
I don't know
bridge.
if that falls into conservation a little bit or not. It would be secondary roads. Yeah. All right.
Item 8, meetings attended.
The only one I had was the workshop, and we had minutes on that.
That's all I had.
Okay.
The workshop.
Okay. I had a wellness meeting last Tuesday. Went over the treasurer's report, discussion on annual physicals and website update, percentage of participation. Live Healthy Iowa update. We got a calendar for scheduling the activities of participation for the wellness program for this current year in order to qualify for the incentives. And I think every county employee got a packet on what the new program is about. And so you have to participate in 2 of these plus your annual physical and everything to get the reward. I think it's $25 per program. The other meeting I had was a NIVIC full board meeting, North Iowa Vocational Center. Went over the financials report. Third quarter showed improvement. They're trying to serve 38% more people with 26% less money. It's a real tough issue. They're cutting back on payroll to make things work. They did have a robbery at Affordables on First, lost $503. It looked like somebody knew what they were doing. They entered and knew right where to go for the money. Sales are trending ahead of last year. They're negotiating a textile contract with Opportunity Village. Let's see. Assembly and packaging, orders from Sukups is down. Curry's is slowing down. They're doing some recycling for Boxmart, Millicraft sample kits, they're packaging for them. Let's see what else is on there. Working on bids for next year in the wood shop. We got the new server in and hooked up, and that's working. Also working on updating the heating and air conditioning system in there, and that's gonna cost 40 to 50,000. They will be in the band festival again this year. We'll have a float in or vehicle in the band festival this year. About covers it for that meeting. Those are my two.
On that robbery, do they have insurance that covers that?
Pardon?
On the robbery, do they have insurance that covers that?
I'm not exactly sure, you know, a small amount like that, I think.
Right, a deductible.
Yeah, probably the deductible. I know when they had that embezzlement, they had $100,000, up to $100,000, like 10% deductible. So, you know, we recovered 90,000 out of the 100 that was embezzled. One of those deals, and it was probably more than 100,000, but they could only go back 5 years. The way that goes. Item B, manure management plan updates.
Okay, we have one from Mark Patterson in section 16 of Union, no changes. Friesen Farms East, that's section 2 of Burr Oak Township. Just made some crop rotation changes. Friesen Farms North, section 17 of Mitchell. There's no changes. And Friesen Farms Liberty 34 site, and section 16 of Liberty, just made some crop rotation changes.
Okay, so noted. Item C. Property insurance for current courthouse building.
Our current insurance that we have on our building is $3 million. And Judy gave me this, cause I asked, you know, the latest valuation report that Arthur J. Gallagher did. And our, they value that our courthouse at $3,701,883. So being that the renewal's coming up, if we wanna bump that up, we need to let them know. So I'm thinking, you know, if that's what they're saying for the amount of square footage that we have, that, you know, maybe we should probably increase it to 700,000, whatever, or 4 million, or whatever, but anyway, that's how that got on there. You can see in your, you know, they go through and they look at everything, it looks like. And this is replacement costs, so.
$3,636,883.
Remains, replacement $3,701,883.
Oh, okay. 6 page.
So,
No, I really feel we should bump it to 4 million.
okay,
I mean,
should we do that with a motion?
so move.
I'll second. And I'll get a hold of Judy to add that to our insurance.
You second that, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, cause it'd be silly, I mean, to, if something did happen, that
Right, right.
we're short on, when they told us it's worth more than,
Yeah.
Well, our courthouse was valued the least of all
Okay, we have a motion to increase the insurance coverage to $4 million on the courthouse, Mitchell County Courthouse. Roll call vote, Walk,
Aye.
Oaklander.
Aye.
Morale, aye, motion carried. Item D, new hire. Cassie Hoisington has been hired as a home care aide, part-time 10.51 an hour,
Effective May 3rd.
effective May 3rd, yeah. So noted. Clerk of Courts monthly report. $1,323.91. So noted. Okay, Mark.
Morning.
Item 10, sanitation department update.
Let's see, the sanitation department, revenues and expenses are good. We're at 83% of the year. And our expenses are only at 74. Our revenues are at 66. They'll go up quite a bit here in the next month or two, so that's all looking good, but one of the reasons I wanted to stop in and talk to you guys was about the possibility of working carpenter, kind of like I do with Orchard. They contract me out to do it and pay me per month. And I don't know if that would be better to do carpenter that way or not. It is a certified operator program up there. If I do continue to do it as a sanitarian, it would be nice to get a little more pay for it. It is more of a qualified position, but it's up to you guys if you want to do it as.
to do it, right?
Yeah.
And you do it now for Orchard.
Yep,
Under separate contract,
yep.
would that work out better for you?
It would for me. It would, right now it's scheduled for about 6 hours a week that I spend up there. And there's also the tan-tat pool inspections that I do for the health department, which I would rather do that under contract too. That's about 4 hours a week, so it'd be a total of about 10 hours a week that would be contracting out versus being paid for. And so I would go down to full-time 30 versus full-time 40. That full-time 30 would allow me a little more flexibility with my schedule, and it would work better for me anyway, so I thought I'd present it to you guys and see what you think.
Do you have a contract with Orchard?
Well, no, I mean, with Orchard, they just, you know, come
Let's
to
take
open
care of
every
it.
month.
It's an oral contract?
It's an oral contract, yeah. I mean, we can work out a 2080 or whatever would be needed to do with you guys, or with Carpenter, whichever, I'm not sure.
I think we should run it by the county attorney. If we, well, I mean, okay,
I mean, basically though, you know.
we own all the equipment.
Pardon?
We own the equipment, right?
Yeah.
We own the tractor.
On the
The mower.
lagoon.
Okay, yeah, with that thought, maybe we have to.
You know, and so then we would just basically contact you for the service, you know, to mow the, take care of the lagoon. I guess in my feeling it would be better if it's written down somewhere, at least it protects you, protects
Right.
us. You know, I don't have a problem with it, Mark, I mean, I'm not trying to throw, you know,
Carpenter was supposed to, basically manage this whole thing. I mean, we were supposed to help them really get it through.
Right.
And once we got it through, I mean, it was supposed to be their baby, so I really don't have a problem with,
That's kind of where I anticipated it in the beginning too, seeing it all switch over to Carpenter, and then Carpenter, once they became the owner or whatever, then they would contract with me to do it, but, it doesn't seem to be going that way necessarily up there, so.
how many hours we got on our tractor up there?
I don't know the exact amount of hours on there,
Wheels haven't fallen off lately, right?
No, no.
Well, there it is, see, at some point in time, you know, this is gonna be there for a number of years, we're
Yeah.
probably gonna, you know, that may need to be replaced, or more need new blades or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you use that for snow removal out there then too, or?
No, the only other use for it out there is, the lowering and raising of pumps out of the pits. And I haven't had the need to dig out the snow. I mean, if we get one that's covered, the snow, and we can use the bucket to dig it out, but, so far, the homeowners have kept, been cleaning up and haven't had that problem.
You having much problem with those pumps anymore, those grinder
No,
pumps?
not since they went in and switched out all the bad part that was in them, whatever it was, but, no, the number of replacements have gone down quite a bit. We've got, 10 brand new pumps sitting up there, so we're sitting good as far as pumps.
10 of them, huh?
Yeah, well, we had that extra money left over. that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't
new or
spend.
not rebuilt, just new.
They're brand new, yep.
Well, consensus of the board,
Yeah, why don't you run it by the county attorney?
Well,
see if we need some type of an agreement, or
yeah, he's probably
should
gonna
probably
want,
have something in writing.
yeah, the list of duties that are required and
I got a
All right,
spare.
good then, so. Yep, I'll discuss it with Mark and bring it back to you guys.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks,
So
Mark.
you can take the same one down to Orchard and get them to sign.
Yeah, I could, yeah. So,
Just
Yeah.
change, just change the names.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark.
Well, looks like nothing else for the good of the cause.
Yeah, why don't we do a 5-minute recess? Let me check to see if that memorandum of understanding has arrived and,
Just one other thing, I just got this letter this morning, it was on my desk, it was from, Brother Jay Gallagher, our new, loss control representative, it'd be Chuck Goodman. You know, I told you last week that we contracted with those, and now they sent out, so Chuck Goodman will be the new loss control guy. He's,
okay.
Okay,
Did Kurt want anything?
we'll take 5 minutes here recessing. Kurt, you have anything?
Well, I'm just a little curious, there was a fellow over, like the insurance man or something, taking pictures of my building yesterday, and wondered what's going on. You know anything about that? Okay.
Live in Heartland there?
run out there and ask
Did you
him.
check his credentials?
It might be, loss control, because, no, well, yeah, it could, because this doesn't take effect until, it's either June or it's July 1. You know, one. And the other. June 1st, assumes duties on June 1st, so I don't think this was this person, because he wouldn't be up there.
Could've been just a tourist.
Maybe they're planning to break in.
Well, it didn't look very threatening.
Suppose I should have threw him over the hood and handcuffed.
How about that? Everything else under control?
And an architect that's gonna put in a bid on the courthouse.
Joel? If Janet Bowers drives up from, for a meeting in Omaha, 12:30 next Tuesday? Yeah, that'll work for us. I think we'll try to get again, the rescue squad at St. Ansgar. Right.